You are not praying wrong. You are praying to the wrong version of God, a God who needs convincing. The Rosary will fix that. Stay here. Most people never discover what the Rosary actually does to you, and that is exactly why their prayers feel like they vanish the moment they leave their lips. Today, that changes. You are about to receive 7 lessons from this ancient prayer that most people carry in their pocket but never truly possess. If you have been feeling like your prayers are hitting a wall, if you are exhausted, anxious, and watching breakthrough after breakthrough land at someone else's door, here is the hard truth. It is not a faith problem. It is a formation problem. You are trying to build a new future using a mind still anchored in old pain. You did not do anything wrong by wanting more. You simply were never shown the discipline of the soul required to hold it. Today, we are unpacking the 7 lessons of the Rosary that reveal why your current struggle is not a dead end. It is the birth pangs of your biggest blessing. Pay special attention to the 7th one. It looks like surrender, but it is actually the most powerful thing you will ever do. The Rosary is a physiological reset before it is even a spiritual one. Think of it as a pacemaker for a panicked soul. It synchronizes your erratic heartbeat to the steady, unshakable pulse of the gospel. Here is what nobody tells you. If you enter prayer in a state of panic, you are not praying toward your answer. You are amplifying your problem. Fear speaks louder than faith when your nervous system is on fire. The repetition of the Rosary is not mindless. It is a weapon against noise. Each Hail Mary is a breath that says, I choose the frequency of heaven over the frequency of my fear. Stop trying to shout over the storm inside you. Let the rhythm silence it. If you refuse to find this stillness, you will keep making decisions from panic, and panic has never built anything that lasts. Psalm 46:10. Be still and know that I am God. The rhythm stills you, but you must understand what you are actually holding in your hands. Those beads are not decorative. They are a boundary. They are a declaration drawn in the spiritual realm that says, chaos goes no further than this point. Picture it this way. Every bead is a stone placed in a wall around the territory of your soul. The enemy does not negotiate at the wall. He retreats from it. Most people never use the Rosary this way because they treat it as optional, something to pull out during a crisis like an emergency parachute. But warriors don't put on armor after the battle starts. They arrive armored. If you treat this prayer as optional, do not be surprised when your peace feels temporary, because temporary protection is exactly what optional commitment produces. Use the beads with intention. Speak each prayer as a stake driven into the ground. You are not reciting, you are legislating. 2 Corinthians 10:4. The weapons we fight with are not the weapons of the world. Now that the boundary is set, the real work begins inside the mind. The Rosary is not just vocal prayer, it is mental discipline. As you move through the mysteries, you are training your imagination to replace the horror reel of your worst fears with the victory reel of Christ's greatest moments. Your mind is a screen. Right now, what is playing on it? Your debt? Your diagnosis? Your broken relationship? Whatever you meditate on most, you are currently calling closer. The mysteries ask you to project something different. The Annunciation, the Crucifixion, the Resurrection, not as ancient history, but as present tense reality unfolding in your living room, in your body, in your situation right now. You cannot build a high-level life on a low-level imagination. Elevate the film playing inside you. What you behold long enough, you begin to become. Philippians 4:8. Whatever is true, noble, right, pure, think about such things. You have found the rhythm, claimed the territory, and upgraded the vision. Now you must activate the most powerful 2-letter word in your spiritual vocabulary. Stay with me, because Lesson 7 will completely change how you end every prayer for the rest of your life. When you enter the joyful mysteries, you are not just remembering Mary's yes, you are activating your own, her fiat. Let it be done to me according to your word. is the template for every blessing that has ever broken through into the natural world. A conditional yes is not a yes. It is a negotiation, and you cannot negotiate your way into a destiny that requires complete surrender as the entry fee. Stop telling God, "I'll trust you, but only if you show me the blueprint first." The blueprint only appears to those who have already started walking. Your yes is the bridge that carries your future into your present. It is not passive. It is the most active, courageous thing you can do in a season of uncertainty. Say it without asterisks. Say it without fine print. Luke 1:38. I am the Lord's servant. May your word to me be fulfilled. But saying yes is only half the battle. Now you have to endure what comes after. The sorrowful mysteries deliver the most uncomfortable truth of the entire Rosary. Your pain is not a detour. It is the preparation. The suffering is not evidence that God has forgotten you. It is evidence that He is forming something in you that cannot be formed any other way. A diamond is not created in comfort. It is created under crushing, sustained pressure, in total darkness over a long time. If you are currently under pressure, in the dark, wondering how long, you are in the middle of a formation, not a destruction. Carry your cross with dignity, not performance, not martyrdom. Dignity, the quiet, unshakable certainty that what is being built in you is worth the cost of its construction. If you run from the struggle, you run from the very strength you will desperately need to steward the harvest that is coming. Matthew 16:24. Whoever wants to be my disciple must deny themselves and take up their cross. After the wait, after the darkness, comes the fire that changes everything. The glorious mysteries are your legal document. They are heaven's signed decree that the grave cannot hold what God has called forth. Not your marriage, not your finances, not your health, not your purpose. If God breathed life into it, no tomb on earth is large enough to contain it permanently. The resurrection is not a past event you celebrate once a year at Easter. It is a present tense authority you carry into every single situation that looks dead right now. The sun does not cease to exist because your side of the earth is facing away from it. Your night is not evidence of darkness's victory. It is evidence that dawn is coming at a speed your pain cannot calculate. Stand in the authority of a finished work. You are not a victim waiting for rescue. You are an heir who has already inherited victory. Begin to walk accordingly. Romans 8:11. He who raised Christ from the dead will also give life to your mortal bodies. And now, the one that most people miss entirely, the one that looks like weakness and is your greatest weapon. This one is subtle, this one is dangerous, and this one is the reason most people leave the Rosary without the breakthrough that was already waiting for them at the end of the beads. At the close of the Rosary, you must do something that feels unnatural to every ambitious, driven, desperate person who has ever prayed. You must put it down and walk away, not in defeat, not in resignation, in release. There is a profound difference. If your hands are clutching the desire, they are closed. Closed hands cannot receive what God is trying to drop into them. The final act of the Rosary is to lay every petition at the feet of Our Lady and leave it there. Not because you no longer care, but because you have grown large enough in trust to let the answer arrive in God's form, on God's timeline, through God's chosen door. The Rosary is not the way to get what you want. It is the way to become who you need to be to handle what is already yours.